this view is everything. Shit, I could get used to this. That's right. You can see a lot more when you're standing on the top floor and stuff.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and I want to thank you so much for being a part of this program that is designed to help you unwrap your infinite greatness. See, I don't know you, but here's what I know about you based upon my own experience, that you have something special. You've got greatness in you. And greatness is not our destiny. Greatness, it's a choice that we have to make every day and how we show up in our lives. And so I want to talk to you, and I want to take this word rap and I want to break it down, if you please. And I want you to join me, and I want you to take some notes. And here's what I want to share with you right now. There are things that I'm going to share with you in this program that as you listen to them, for the most part, it won't make much sense. But as you listen to them again and again and again, you will discover there will be a moment when it will all come together and it will make sense for you. Have you ever seen a movie? One of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. And I see things in that movie. Each time I see the movie, I hear things, and I'm aware of things that I was not aware of before. Why? Because my life was in a different place. And there are things that jumped out in the movie that had more value for me at that point in time. And that's going to happen to you. That as you listen over and over again, over the years, there are moments when I speak and say something, you say, whoa, I understand now. I know what he meant by that. Let me give you an example in my own life. When I hear the words in my favorite book, that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. Well, there are things that will happen to you in life, good and bad, that there's no way that you could have anticipated those things. My best friend, Alexander Wims, we call him Boo. I thought we would grow to be old men together. We had no idea that as a result of him having an illness at a football game, and he went to Jackson Memorial Hospital, and they thought he had appendicitis. They gave him a blood infusion during the operation. We had no idea that as a result of that operation, his blood would become infected, and that would culminate in him dying sooner than he should have died because of an infected blood that he received in his blood transfusion. We had no idea. There's no way we could have seen that in our future. And by the same token, when I look at my life right now, I thought that I would be a disc jockey all of my life. That's something that I do very well. It was something that I had my mind set on. In fact, it was a person that worked with me who's been my mentor for over 40 years who said to me one day, Les Brown, I'm walking down the halls at WVKO in Columbus, Ohio, and he said to me, Les Brown, you are more than a disc jockey. And I looked at him and said, what are you talking about? Now, mind you, I considered myself Les Brown, the man about town, LB Triple P. There were none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Okay? I mean, I was into this, and this was my limited vision of myself. And I had no idea that waiting for me was a totally different life. And it took him 14 years to convince me, that the life that I'm now living was available for me. I had no idea. And now at this stage of my life, when I look back and think about the things that I have done, I was selected by Toastmasters International in 1992 to become one of the top 5 speakers in the world. General Norman Schwarzkopf, Paul Harvey, the legendary radio personality, Robert Schuller, and Lee Iacocca. Now, that's some good company to be in. Who would have thought that was in my future? Les Brown, born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida, in Liberty City. Who would have thought? Les Brown, adopted, labeled educable, mental retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failed again in the 8th grade, no college training. Who would have thought that I would be selected among the top 5 speakers in the world, that I would speak to over 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome, that I would travel around the world and speak to people and teach them how to live their dreams. Let me share something with you. I don't tell you this to impress you, but to impress upon you. You've got greatness within you. You have the ability to do things, to accomplish things, to experience things, to impact the world, to transform lives that you don't even realize. There are books in you, there are inventions in you, there are ideas in you. I'm thinking about the play Lion King. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. And so as we begin to go down this path and this journey, let me share with you how to begin to unwrap your greatness and how to begin to expose to the world that which is within you. I'm thinking about Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said that what lies behind us and what lies before us is of small consequence to what lies within us. And what you have within you is some potential to change the world. Yes. And if you find that hard to believe, I truly understand. I can tell you I understand that, because I just couldn't believe me. Come on. I'm just an average person, and I just had not a clue of my ability to do the things that I'm doing right now. And so here's what I want you to write down: the winner's mindset. I believe that when we look at people that have manifested their greatness in medicine, in education, in sports, in any arena, they had a winner's mindset. What do you mean by that? They have a certain kind of optimism. In fact, the psychologists call them skaters, the people who are, no matter what kind of situation they find themselves in, no matter how you throw them, they will land on their feet. You take their sight and you will have a Ray Charles or a Stevie Wonder. These people, regardless, if they are infected with cancer, you have a Lance Armstrong. These people are resilient and unstoppable. They have this kind of mindset that I can do this. Psychologists call it their self-explanatory style. And I believe that how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. And I think that somewhere in their heart of hearts, they just feel that I'm a winner. And I want you to get that feeling right now, that you are a winner. You came here to win. You were chosen. You won out of 400 million sperm. You won the race. Think about that. You came here against some incredible odds. So you came here a winner. You were born to win. Just let that marinate with you. Just be with that. And don't judge your ability to win based upon what you've done up to this point. Don't look at what it is that you don't have in your bank account, or your bills, or your failures, or your disappointments, or your shortcomings. We all have those things. What's most important is to understand and know that what you've done up to this point, and I know perhaps you've done some things that you're proud of and you feel good about it, and you've surprised yourself. But I want you to know that whatever you've done, and I've discovered this in my own life, is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for you. A friend of mine, an icon in speaking, Jim Rohn, he passed just a few months ago, but he had a quote that I love. He said, "When the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one." See, when you have a winner's mindset, you have a sense of adventure. Helen Keller said, "Life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. You're like a kid. You don't know what you can't do." And this winner's mindset, this sense of optimism, this possibility mindset drives you, and you see life different from other people, because most people are negative. Why? Because I believe we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential. And after hearing those things over and over and over again of what we can't do, we buy into it unconsciously. But those people who have that winner's mindset, those people that are showing up and tapping into their greatness in every dimension and discipline of life, those individuals have a different view. They look at obstacles and all they can see are the possibilities. And the average person, they look at the possibilities and all they can see are the obstacles. Isn't that interesting? And many times you can find people born in the same home, raised by the same family and the same circumstances, and could end up being totally different and living their lives in dramatically different ways. Haven't you seen it? I've seen it in my family. I'm a twin, and my twin brother and I, 5 minutes apart, but we're different as day and Mars. How do you explain that? I don't know. But I'm saying to you, as you look at your life right now, and I want you to think about your life. I want you to look at what you've done thus far. And I want you to look into the future, and I want you to raise the bar on yourself. And I don't want you to rule anything out. I want you to think about goals in your personal life that you'd like to achieve, goals in your career, whatever those goals are that you'd like to achieve, whatever amount of money that you'd like to earn. I want you to think about that. I also want you to think about your contribution, your social contribution. What will be different because you were born? What will be said about you? What will your legacy be? See, the average person, when they die, they leave liabilities, but you, because you know who you are, you will have a legacy. What will your legacy be? What will unravel, and what will continue to happen after you are boxed and buried because of the way that you live your life, because of the impact, because of your contribution, because of the things that you have done, because of what you stood for, because of what you believed in, because of what you did with your talents, with your gifts, with your abilities, and the time that you spent here on the earth. How will you be recalled? You know, most people, when they die, because they don't have a clue about who they are, they don't leave a mark. Most people, when they die, most people will not even know, their neighbors and relatives and friends won't even know that they're dead, except when they're called and they don't answer the telephone, or they don't show up at work, or because of newspapers accumulating, or some stench or odor coming out of the house, because the impact of their life has been so inconsequential that they won't even be missed. It would be as if they were never born. But people who know that they have something special, who feel that they have greatness, who believe that life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. Oh, when they go, we know. When they leave, we know. When a Mother Teresa left the planet, we all knew. When a Dr. King died, we all knew. When a John F. Kennedy died, we all knew, because of the impact of their lives. And that's how I think that all of us should live our lives, living a life of contribution, and understanding and knowing that there's a force in us, there's a power in us that's greater than we can ever begin to imagine, that has the capacity to accomplish and to do things. And part of being a channel for that greatness to come through you is a sense of optimism. It's how you take life on. It's how you view life. It's how you see life, that there's a spirit about where there's a will, there's a way. That's how you show up. That's how you are able to impact and forward your life. People who are steeped in the winner's mindset. People that's making a difference. People that's making impact. Here's something else about that winner's mindset. Not only is there a sense of optimism, but people who have a winner's mindset, they have a resilient mindset and spirit about them. Now, because you have a winner's mindset does not mean that you don't suffer defeats. Does not mean that you won't have some setbacks. Does not mean that everything you take on that you win at that. No. Winners, even when they fail, they win in their failure. I remember I used to be a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio, from the 29th House District. And when I won a debate on legislation that I argued on the floor of the House of Representatives, I won because of what I knew. But when I lost because of what I did not know. And that meant that I had to go back to the drawing board. That meant that I had to prepare myself differently. That meant that I had to have some more coaching, but it didn't mean that I was a loser. See, when you have a winner's mindset, here's one of the things you realize: you will fail your way to success. Yes, you will fail your way to success. See, most people don't ever make the kind of mark and impact they can make in life because they allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. But people who have a winner's mindset, they do not internalize failure. They don't back away from something because of the possibility of failure. In fact, when you have a winner's mindset, you become a risk taker. Yes. You are a risk taker. Viscard said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? See, winners know that in order to manifest your greatness, you've got to grow. And you've got to develop yourself, and you've got to stretch yourself, you've got to challenge yourself, you've got to find out what you are made of. And that's what you've got to do as you think about your goals, as you think about your dreams, you think about what it is you want to do with your life, and you think about you want your life to count. Yes, Viscott was right. If you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. You always want to strive to better your best. And being happy with a sense of, I've done good, I've made a difference, I've made my mark, my life does count for something. It's been said that we should never ask what is the meaning of life, rather we should ask. And I think this is what people who are pursuing their greatness ask: what is the meaning of my life? See, people who know and have a sense of greatness and have that winner's mindset, they live meaningful lives deliberately. It's no accident. They're intentional about it. Every choice they make, and they have a vision of what it is they want. You know, you have goals, but visions have you. When I read that, I said, I like that. They have a vision about where they're going and what they're doing with their life. And this vision, they hold it there, and people are able to see the future through their eyes. They have the ability to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Yes, they're resilient. Yes, they're unstoppable. Yes, they have vision, and there's something about them that when people are in their energy, when people are in their presence, they feel better about themselves. They raise the bar on themselves. They challenge themselves. They stretch themselves because they know that this person is different. There's something that's not ordinary about this person with this winner's mindset. They're uncommon. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my right to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. Yes, when you have that winner's mindset, there's something different and extraordinary and uncommon about you. It's interesting. It shows up in so many areas. I remember when I went to an institute for so-called terminally ill cancer patients. You know, cancer is the most feared word in 7 different languages. No one ever wants to hear the 3 words, you have cancer. And when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, my PSA was over 100. And as I speak now, it's over 400, and I'm cancer-free, I'm debt-free, and drama-free. And I remembered what I heard about people who died from cancer. You realize that more people die from a doctor's prognosis than from the disease itself. And I was told I had 2 to 3 years. And here it is, over 15 years later, and I'm still here. And that winner's mindset, there's something that said, no, this is not my time. There's something in me that said, I want to live. And that was that part of myself that we call the winner's mindset. And let me share something with you. When you think about people who do die, I've read a book called The Biology of Hope. When there's something about people who have an optimistic view of life, people who are positive and have a positive outlook on life, have less illnesses, they live longer, they have less sicknesses, they have less stays in the hospital, they are able to survive all kinds of things because of their mindset, because of their spirit, because of their energy, because of their enthusiasm, because of their drive. See, winners are self-motivated and they are driven from within. They don't need an alarm clock to get up in the morning. They jump up automatically. They're glad to be here. They know every day is a great day. If you don't believe it, try missing one. These are different kind of people. You understand what I'm talking about? Yes, and people who have a winner's mindset, they smile more. You know, even homely people look better when they smile. Just smile at me right now. And look around and look at somebody and smile at them. Now, if you look around and they smile at you, then you are the homely one. Let me tell you the value of humor and why you will find people who are winners. They have a good sense of humor because they can laugh at themselves. They make mistakes, they fall short, and they're not perfect. They know they have weaknesses, and they learn to laugh at themselves. And some people, they take life too seriously. See, at the end of the day, you're going to die anyhow. So I believe we should enjoy ourselves. I think Helen Keller was right that life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. And I think that the dessert for a winner's mindset is giving your best at all times, under all circumstances. That when you have a winner's mindset, no excuse is acceptable for not doing your best, for coming up short. Hey, come on. No, I remember for a long period of my life, and when things weren't working out and I was behind on my bills and my dreams, I would point at the fact that I was fired from my job unjustly. I would point at the fact that I didn't have a college education. I was able to point at the fact that I came up in a dysfunctional situation. I was raised by a single mother who had a 3rd grade education, and I don't know who my birth parents are. I had everything I could point at, but at the end of the day, everything I was pointing at, I had 3 fingers pointing at me. Just think about that. See, when you have a winner's mindset, you take personal responsibility for the results in your life. Earl Nightingale said, and he was right, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Just think about that. And when you have a winner's mindset, you don't spend time criticizing the situation that you're in because, there's never been a statue erected to a critic. When you have a winner's mindset, you spend your time and energy looking for the solution. See, whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And the winners know that. So they're always looking for a way out. They're looking for a breakthrough. They're looking for an opening. They're looking for the challenge that can take them to that next level. And so as you look at yourself, here's a way in which you can, to reinforce that mindset of a winner, take take some time every day when you first wake up in the morning, because whatever you expose your mind to in the first 20 minutes in the morning will affect the spirit of your day. And I think getting up in the morning with a spirit of gratitude, I'm still here. I've been given another day of life, and being thankful and spiritualize your thoughts with some words that has some meaning for you, that can touch your mind and your spirit and your soul, that you can read, whatever those things might be. And you might want to pray or meditate on some quote or scripture that has some value for you. And then review your goals and think about the things that you want to do on that day and the things you want to get out of the day. See, the average person, they're just thinking about making it through the day. But when you have a winner's mindset, you're thinking about what is it I'm going to get out of this day, because I'm going to exchange a day of my life for it. And you want to tame your mind. You want to train your mind by listening to motivational messages on a regular basis for about 20 to 30 minutes a day when you first wake up, while you're exercising or going for walks, and before you retire in the evening. You want to write your goals down and review your goals. You want to have an accountability partner where you're talking to each other and holding each other accountable for the things that you say that you're going to do, and make sure you follow through on those things. You're constantly raising the bar on yourself. You're constantly facing the challenges of life and making some tough decisions and taking life on. And here's the final thing that winners do that the average person will not do. See, most people do just enough to get by. I did that for many years. I was working on a job. They paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, and I worked just hard enough to keep from being fired. Okay, I'm not proud of this, but I'm telling you, that's the habit I got into. You know, Warren Buffett said, habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. Think about that. Dr. Dennis Whaley said that people form habits, and habits create futures. And when you have a winner's mindset, when you become aware of some habits that you're engaged in that does not represent the best that's in you, and that does not challenge you to unwrap your greatness, and you automatically go into gear to change those habits that's working against you, those habits that's a liability rather than an asset. And part of that process is this: the difference between winners and losers. Losers always try shortcuts. They want the easy way out. You know, you've heard the saying that easy come, easy go. No, the winners understand this, and I want to leave this thought with you. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. See, winners take on challenges. They don't want to do what's easy. They want those things that will challenge them. They want those things that will pull out and bring out the best that is in them, because they know if you do what is easy, life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. Just think about that. See, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do that. Why? Because it's hard. Someone addicted to drugs. Oh, man, it's hard quitting. Yes. But if you do it, if you do what is required, you do that which is hard, your life will be much easier. Oh, it's hard going to school. It's hard sitting in class with students that's young enough for your children or grandchildren. It's hard learning all over again, getting into that mindset. It's hard working after you get off from work and you're doing 2 and 3 jobs and getting 1 paycheck. It's hard to keep your spirits up and to look for ways to increase your value and to upgrade your knowledge. It's hard. Yes, it is hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. But if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. And when you have a winner's mindset, you welcome the hard. If it's hard, the winner's mindset is then do it hard. When it's hard, the winner's mindset, I'm not going to use that as an anthem, as an excuse to let myself off the hook. I'm not going to allow that to be a block for me. I'm not going to see that as a closed door for me. I'm not going to see that as because it's hard that it's out of my reach. No, if it's hard, then I'll do it hard. I'll do whatever is required to make it happen. That's what you call the winner's mindset. This has been Les Brown. It's greatness in you. Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Yeah. This view is everything. Shit, I could get used to this. That's right. You can see a lot more